Beneath our feet lies a world most of us will never see. Hidden beneath the soil is a civilization built by creatures smaller than a fingernail.
This is the secret underground city of the ants.
A hidden kingdom where millions of lives can depend on cooperation. And beneath this tiny entrance, something extraordinary is taking shape. A complex network of tunnels, chambers, nurseries, and storage rooms. Every grain of soil moved by these workers changes the shape of their world. One grain at a time. Together, thousands of individual workers can transform the earth. And the deeper we go, the more sophisticated the city becomes. This is not a random collection of tunnels. It is a carefully organized living system. And every ant has a role to play. Some dig, some defend, some feed the young. And the deeper we go, the more sophisticated the city becomes. Deep inside the colony lives the queen. Her life is fundamentally different from that of the workers around her. Her primary role is reproduction. Workers care for her, feed her, and protect her. But the queen does not rule the colony like a human monarch. The colony functions through chemical signals, touch, and instinct. A brief touch can carry information from one ant to another. Chemical trails help guide workers toward food, danger, and important locations. And the future of the colony begins with tiny eggs. Millions of lives may begin in chambers no larger than a human hand. The workers constantly inspect, clean, and move the developing brood. When conditions change, the brood can be moved to safer chambers. The nursery is one of the most carefully maintained areas of the city, because the next generation is the colony's future. But keeping an entire city alive requires an extraordinary workforce. The workers are the engine of the colony. They build the tunnels. They collect food. They raise the young. And some defend the colony. No single ant can accomplish these tasks alone. But together, they can move objects many times their own size. Their coordination emerges from simple interactions,
repeated millions of times.
One discovery can quickly become a colony-wide opportunity. Soon, a single trail becomes a highway.
And the underground city begins to move. Food is carried deep underground and stored.
These reserves can become essential when the outside world becomes dangerous.
Other workers maintain the city's cleanliness.
Waste is transported away from vulnerable areas.
Even underground, sanitation can mean survival. The colony adapts its architecture to the landscape around it.
Roots become walls. Stones become barriers.
And the city is never truly finished. It grows with every generation.
Deep inside the colony is a place where the future is carefully protected.
Here, workers feed and care for developing larvae.
They constantly monitor temperature, humidity, and safety.
The nursery must remain within a narrow range of conditions.
When the environment changes, the workers respond. Heavy rain can threaten an entire colony.
And the response can be immediate. The young are moved to safer chambers. Sometimes, entire sections of the city must be abandoned. But the colony survives by adapting. New chambers are created. And life continues. Inside these tiny bodies, the next generation is taking shape. Some will become workers. Others may become soldiers. And some will leave the colony to begin a new one. Every new adult adds another piece to the colony's future. And the cycle begins again. But outside the nursery, another struggle is always waiting. Every city needs defenders.
For ants, defense begins with specialized workers.
They patrol the boundaries of their territory. Because neighboring colonies may compete for the same resources. A chemical signature can determine friend from stranger. the colony mobilizes. Tiny battles can determine access to food, territory, and shelter. Sometimes the colony withdraws. Sometimes it strengthens its defenses. The city becomes a fortress. But danger can come from above. Predators constantly search for vulnerable colonies. The underground city exists inside a much larger food web. But the colony is rarely defenseless. The safest place is often below. And the forest floor falls silent. But beneath the silence, the city continues. The workers return to their tasks. Because survival never stops. The deeper we explore, the more remarkable the architecture becomes. Some tunnels act as highways. Others become gathering spaces. Some are reserved for the young. Others hold valuable resources. Some tunnels may even help move air through the colony. Temperature and humidity can shape where ants place their most vulnerable brood. The colony is constantly adjusting to changing conditions. What begins as a small nest can become a vast underground network. The architecture is created by countless individual actions. There is no architect drawing a blueprint. No single ant understands the entire city. Yet together, they create something astonishingly complex. A living architecture built from simple rules. When part of the city collapses, repair begins. Workers remove debris and reopen pathways. Within minutes, traffic can return. The city breathes through movement. And every tunnel connects one part of the colony to another. But the city does not exist in isolation. The underground world is deeply connected to the world above. Some ants transport seeds. In doing so, they can influence where plants grow. Others recycle dead organic material. They carry nutrients back into the soil. Their tunnels can also change the structure of the earth. Roots and insects become part of the same underground system.
When rain arrives, the entire ecosystem responds.
Water moves through the earth. And the ants adapt once again. Above ground, the forest appears unchanged. But below, an entire city may have been rebuilt.
When rain arrives, the entire ecosystem responds.
New workers take their place.
Verticling narrator and the Grancet Fawn's narrator, and the secret city grows, a rich ambiscape of tiny movements.
But every colony eventually prepares for a new beginning. At certain moments, winged ants emerge. They are the future founders of new colonies. For the first time, they leave the darkness beneath the earth. And the hidden city releases a new generation into the world. Some will survive. Many will not. But a few will find the perfect place. And begin again. A new chamber. A new queen, and the first tiny eggs of a future colony.
The cycle begins again.
One generation becomes thousands. And a tiny beginning becomes an entire hidden civilization. What looks like a simple hole in the ground may hide an extraordinary world. A world built without blueprints. Maintained without machines. And powered by millions of simple decisions. Every ant is small. But together, they create something much larger than themselves. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of the ants. No single ant builds the city. The city exists because every small life contributes to something greater. So the next time you see a tiny hole in the earth, remember, beneath your feet, an entire world may be alive.